Hey everybody, I want to teach you about how to read an environmental map. So we're going to take a look at two maps comparing Minnesota from 1850 to 2000. Before we do that, I want to show you how to read the legend. Alright, so the legend is right over here. It's showing you what the symbols represent on this map. And I broke it apart. Up here we've got swamp, swamp bog forest, conifer forest, mixed conifer and deciduous forest, mixed prairie, forest and prairie, prairie, farmland, and urban. So what does that mean? First one, swamp, bog, and forest. It's basically swamp, which is a heavily wet area that bumps up against forests. So that's where the toads live. Next, conifer forest. That means pine trees only. So that's right here. And then there's a mixed conifer and deciduous. So conifer again means pine trees with a combination of broad, flat leaves. So for example, like a pine tree with maple tree is a mixed forest. Next one, deciduous forest. That would be forests that are only broadleaf, like an only combination of maple leaves and oak, basically trees where the leaves fall off. Next one is mixed forest and prairie. So this is where wide open grassy lands meet some forest. Next one is prairie. Prairies are wide areas with wild grasses and flowers. Next one is farmland. This is basically where forest or prairie has been changed into areas where we grow crops. And finally urban, large cities. Alright, so what I want you to do is look at how drastically Minnesota has changed over the last 150 years or so. So the map on the left here is 1850, map on the right is 2000. So what has changed? So let's take a look at this triangle here. In this triangle, it looks like we have a lot of mixed conifer and deciduous, so there's a lot of pine and broadleaf. Look at how much that's changed over here. It's changed. Basically, most of the pine is gone. Interesting, a lot of the swamp still stays the same. We still got this same shape here and the same shape, but the pine is pretty much gone. We do have, obviously, pine in Minnesota, but there's large swaths that have changed, largely due to the logging. Next, if you look in this circle, you have prairie. Okay, so that's the orange right here. So pretty much all prairie. In fact, this whole southwest and going up into the northwest area of Minnesota was all prairie 150 years ago. Look how it is now. Almost all the brown. Brown is farmland. And look at how little prairie is left. There's just a few dots of prairie scattered here and there. So that's a pretty significant change. Next, if you look in the rectangles, now we have a new one here. It's called urban. Look at how drastically different this is now. Almost all of this, or half of this rectangle, is urban, which is, this is the Twin Cities area. Up here you got St. Cloud. If you jump over to 1850, you pretty much have no urban area because there's very little settlement. Here's where Mississippi River and Minnesota River are meeting. So a lot of changes. So today you're going to be taking a quiz that helps you identify what are cities or locations and what are they near, which of these environments. And then finally you're going to be looking at one that is forest, parks, and wildlife management areas. A national park or monument basically is a park designated for enjoyment, recreation. You're not going to see people's homes or factories built there. Then there's national forests. And national forests are set aside, again, for similar reasons. Sometimes industry can go in there, but it's designated as a special area to keep forests intact. And there's state forests, and these are forests designated by the state to be protected. There's state parks, places, again, where you can go for enjoyment. State wildlife management area, and those are special areas for particular animals and some plants that need to be protected, and so they watch carefully over them. So here is how Minnesota is organized according to the parks. So if you look up in the north, mostly in the northern part of the state, you got a lot of national forests up here. and some state forests. Here's the red state wildlife management areas. They're kind of scattered throughout. Even not too far out of the Twin Cities, we have some in the surrounding areas. So anyways, what you're going to be doing with this map is identifying which cities are near what type of either forest, park, wildlife management areas. All right, so that's all for today, and have a good one. Even on the screen capture section, I can get myself on a camera, or I can click something. Even on the screen capture section, I can get myself on a camera, or I can click